Hello people, it's your boy Osman back again with the match reaction. I know people have been asking. Manchester United 0, Paris Saint-Germain 2, which means Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the right man for the flipping job. Now I'm joking. Of course I'm bloody joking. Why are United fans overreacting like that? I think it's borderline. It's just embarrassing really, to be quite frankly honest with you. It's a borderline of disgrace, which is what I was about to say. First and foremost, I'm not going to lie, PSG 100% deserved to win the game. There was a better team on the night over the two halves. Nevertheless, there were a few factors that did determine the overall outcome of the game. First and foremost, I've got to just mention and get it out of the way. Kimpembe should not have been on the pitch to get the goal. The referee was an absolute joke throughout the whole game. Their players were diving, and they're just getting away with it. I read a stat something like we made like 7 tackles or something stupid. No, we committed 7 fouls, sorry, and got 6 yellow cards, which is an absolute flipping joke, to be quite frankly honest with you. To give a card out that early in the game, especially to something that wasn't really a yellow card to one of our players, it just set the tone for the game. There was a very early incident where Marquinhos, I think it was the 10th or 11th minute when he took off Lingard when we were on the break, and the referee didn't book him, and I thought fair play, he could have quite easily booked him there, but he's wanting to manage the game. But that wasn't the bloody case. He went on to book every single player after that, which really ruined the game for me in a sense, because it made certain players more cautious in the tackles, that kind of thing. But I am not using this as an excuse. We were definitely deserving of the loss overall. We didn't really show up, to be quite frankly honest with you. To not create many chances at home is an absolute joke. But I'm not going to overreact, because at the end of the day, if you actually look at it and think about it realistically, they're a way better team than us. They're massively ahead of us in terms of progression with their squad. It's a squad game at the end of the day, and you saw at half time, in the first half, I'm not going to say we matched them, but I think it was on as even, to be fair. Obviously the scoreline suggested that as well, but in the sense of the way the game was going, it was quite even. Yes, you would say PSG slightly the better team. They created 2 clear-cut chances, although both were offside. Nevertheless, we didn't really create any chances in the first half or the second half for that matter. So on the basis of both the halves, of course they deserve to win. But what we'll say is you saw the difference in squads basically. Martial and Lingard going off due to injury, sadly, which was a massive turning point in the game for me personally. Again, I'm not using this as an excuse. It just is what it is. We lost all balance, especially with Lingard offering us that balance on the right side. Without him, it looked absolutely shocking. It was just an absolute joke, to be honest with you, in the second half. And before people say, well, they didn't have Cavani and Neymar, 100% understand that, but they were able to obviously consider that prior to the game, and they had a plan prior to that. In a sense, it's a criticism to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for not having a plan B, but in his defence, what options does he actually have? We don't really have the squad to compete at the elite level, and that's okay. We weren't expecting, you know, him to come and build Rome within a couple of weeks. It does take time. The people are saying that Ole shouldn't deserve the job after this is an absolute joke. For me personally, this is where Ole is going to get tested. How is he going to bounce back? How is he going to motivate the players? What is the reaction going to be like against Chelsea and against Liverpool? The games that actually matter. For me personally, although it would have been fantastic to get through against PSG, it's just a bonus, and obviously we're not out of the tie just yet. Anything can happen in football, and especially with Man United, we are the comeback kings for a reason, but it's looking very bleak. I'm not going to be deluded and sit here and think, oh, we can go and get a result at Parc des Princes, but you never know. But that side, coming back to this game, like I said, in the first half, they didn't really force De Gea into any saves that I can remember. I know the Di Maria one was offside, although people technically counted that, and the Mbappe one was offside as well. De Gea was very good to close down the line. But in the second half, you just saw the goal thing class, to be quite frankly honest with you. You saw with Mata on their right wing, I've said it on numerous occasions, Mata, if he's going to continue to play on right wing, he's got no future for Man United. I absolutely love the guy, he's a class act, but it's not a charity at the end of the day. He's just not good enough on the right wing. He gives us no balance whatsoever. He gives us nothing from that right wing. He's a calm, he should be playing in calm. I'm not sure why managers are persistent to play him on the right wing when he's clearly unable to play there, and he hasn't really got the legs. He didn't have the legs in his prime, he hasn't got the legs now. Sanchez, again, somebody I have defended heavily. There's no defending his performance. Absolute flipping disgrace, to be quite frankly honest with you. He's getting paid that much money. I don't want to bring the money into it, but if you're getting paid that much money, you have to deliver at least a 7 out of 10 minimum, and he's not even flipping 3. It was absolutely shocking. Constantly trying to cut in, not running in behind, and to be fair, It wasn't just him. The other players in the second half, the midfield got overrun. Pogba got marked out the game. Fair play to Tuchel, getting Marquinhos on Pogba. When I first saw Marquinhos playing in that position, I wasn't really sure what the sort of logic behind that was. Obviously, he's more known for his centre-back sort of duties, and obviously plays right-back as well. But fair play to him. He was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely marked out Pogba from the game. This is where my frustration really lied, was the fact that they could just mark out one player out of the game and then literally just cut off all that supply line. That's when the likes of Herrera, Matic have to be able to find a pass. And sadly, I'm not sure if they were scared to take a risk or they just don't feel like they have it in their locker, but Matic and Herrera, although defensively they were very good and screening and doing their job in that sense, going forward and trying to pass the ball through the lines, it was practically non-existent. All they were doing was passing the ball sideways and trying to create something out of nothing, basically. But they weren't really doing that because they were passing it about 2 miles per hour, and you can't really create anything if you're constantly passing the ball sideways. Obviously, football is about taking risks, and obviously Herrera and Matic did not do that, hence why we created absolutely nothing in Rashford, to be fair to him. Can't really criticise him, he got no service whatsoever. The second half was very reminiscent of a performance under Jose Mourinho, and if it was Jose Mourinho, I would be critical of him, and I have to be consistent with my criticism, and I have to criticise Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Although he didn't really have much to play with, he did make a mistake bringing Mataran instead of Lukaku. He had to keep the pace in the team. You saw in the first 5 minutes of the game, when we pressed them high on the pitch, they were worried, and also they weren't really coming out of their sort of defensive line. Yes, they were attacking us in the first half as well, but they weren't really going gun ho. They were a bit cautious to an extent, and you could, in the first half, if I was to look at it, it was pretty much like a chess game in the sense that both teams didn't want to lose the game. Both teams looked a bit scared to overcommit because they were wary of the threat that the other team poses on the break, and they were definitely considering us on the break as well. There was no let's just go for it, it's just Man United. They were very scared of the pace that we got on the break. When that was taken off, you quite clearly saw they pushed further up the pitch, which meant they squeezed us even more. They had the ability to press us even more, and sadly we didn't have the ability to, or the capabilities to play the ball in behind consistently to Rashford, because our retention of the ball was absolutely piss poor. I said it in my preview, if we do not retain the ball better than what we did against Spurs, we are going to lose this game. It's quite frankly, it's quite simple, to be honest with you. That's exactly what I said. It's exactly what happened, sadly, because you saw against Spurs, Eriksen was absolutely picking us apart. On another day we would have lost that game in the second half, but it didn't happen because they did not have the quality. On this day, they did have the quality and we got punished. It's as simple as that, to be quite frankly honest with you. The players do have to look at themselves, but again, I don't want to be overly critical because it just shows that this squad does need a lot of improvement, and we knew that anyways going into the game. Ashley Young, I do feel sorry for him, although he was at fault for the second goal. He got exposed, and that, to be fair, I think that was more down to Solskjaer bringing Mataran instead of giving him somebody who can shield alongside and just trap back, basically, because he was getting 2v1 practically. As soon as Mata came on, we got absolutely violated down the right side. You saw against Arsenal, their goal came from the right side. They exploited Ashley Young's weaknesses. You saw against Spurs, they exploited Ashley Young's weakness. You saw against Burnley. It's a recurring theme, you know. You don't have to be any sort of analyst to understand that Ashley Young is a massive weak link in this team. And no fault to his own, he's not a defender, so I'm not going to be overly critical of him. At the end of the day, it is what it is. That aside, of course, I'm massively disappointed that the boys didn't put in a better performance, but we've got to be realistic here. We're not even close to PSG, to be honest with you. Only Pogba and De Gea would get into the team, minus them two players. Who will realistically get into the team? I can't think of many. But what I will say is, look at the difference a solid defence makes. Obviously, they've got experienced players there, but Thiago, for me, was absolutely flipping sensational. That guy, the way he marshalled his defence, Dani Alves, unbelievable. Kimpembe should not have been on the pitch, like I've already said. The referee, for me personally, had an absolute disaster, but he definitely got the sending off for Pogba wrong, which is just, it's just another thing that just rubs salt in the wounds, because obviously at the end of the day, if we still had Pogba, I would have had a bit more faith, but it's just what I was going to say. No Barcia, no Lingard, no Pogba. It's going to be difficult. In the second leg, but we'll have to just wait and see what happens. That aside, for me personally, this is an opportunity to learn. With mistakes, there's growth, and this is the chance for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to enhance his ability as a coach, and hopefully he can learn from these mistakes and develop his skill, because at the end of the day, he is still learning. That is why I'm not being overly critical. For me personally, if Solskjaer gets top 4, give him the job, be patient, give him the money, and just take it from there. But this, like I said earlier, And this is the test now. PSG was not a test in the sense that we were obviously I know the fans were thinking that, but I'm pretty sure Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was never thinking this is an easy game. But the test is how we're going to bounce back, or how have we got the mental strength to come back from that. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, we got outplayed at home, especially in the second half. So to an extent, it's quite embarrassing, and especially Di Maria. Oh my God, I haven't even mentioned that piece of shit, the snake. Absolutely hate him, but. It is what it is. We go again. Obviously, we got Chelsea next, and I think we got Liverpool and then PSG. We'll just see how it goes. But by no means am I, overreacting in any way, shape, or form. It is what it is. I feel like the injury to Martial and Lingard killed us, and it just shows we haven't got strength in depth. Sanchez and Mata for me not good enough. Simple as that. Lukaku again was only the option. It doesn't really give him much vote of confidence. They bring him Mata on instead of him, but. It is what it is, I guess. Very frustrating night for Manchester United and us fans, of course. But that aside, it has been your boy Osmani. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like, all that good stuff. Take care. Come on, United! Come on.